Good morning from the Ozarks. Welcome to another episode of Back to the Past. I'm Blair. Something that I've actually been doing for the past couple of years is, in order to keep the pond clean, I can actually use some of this debris as garden fertilizer. Now, my pond in the past has really collected a lot of algae in the winter months when the leaves have dropped from the trees and we get a lot of sunlight in here. Now, it's actually a little better this year since I put in the pond liner. What causes the algae to grow is decaying organic debris, and of course I've got a lot of trees, completely surrounded by trees, so we get leaves floating around here, decaying and being able to feed the algae, causing the algae to grow. Algae can be unsightly, but it's not really something that's terrible. What I do with it is I'll take a net and I'll collect the algae, which is rich in carbon and nitrogen, both great for garden fertilizer, and I'll mix it with charcoal that I get from burning branches, and as I clear land and stuff, I burn it. I don't let it burn completely to ash. I'll burn it, let it burn down till it breaks up, and add water to it, put it out the fire, and then take that, crush it, mix it with the algae, and all of a sudden I have a wonderful garden fertilizer. First thing that I need to do is get to my charcoal. We had a couple of windy days that broke a lot of branches, so yesterday I spent some time burning old dried up branches. Okay, I've separated some of the ash from the charcoal, or a couple pieces that weren't burned completely. I set them aside. I'll go ahead and load them into the wheelbarrow. I've actually got a bucket full here that I collected from previous fires. Add that into the mix, and here we go with collecting more. All right, Gabby's here to help me explain things since I get kind of tongue twisted. Got a wheelbarrow full of charcoal, and admittedly it's not pure charcoal. There's some ash in it. There's even a few pieces of fairly decomposed wood. Nothing that's going to hurt the garden, everything that will actually benefit the garden. Now, biochar is simply wood charcoal mixed with nutrients. And in this case, the nutrient will be whatever leaves that I have here that are decomposing and the algae that's floating around on the pond here. So anyway, I'll get started on that. There is actually a company that's specialized in making biochar that is exactly this: charcoal, wood charcoal mixed with algae. So I'm going to do basically the process that they do. Theirs is all mechanical, so they break things up into much finer stuff than what I've got. And I've heard a lot of arguments on both sides of how fine or how coarse the charcoal should be. I would lean toward it being maybe a little finer than what I've got it for certain, but it works in any case. Now, charcoal itself may not have that much benefit, but what it does have is a huge surface area because of the interior is burnt out into a lot of microscopic pores, and then of course the exterior surface area. So it holds these nutrients and then releases them fairly slowly in the garden, which is just an absolutely wonderful thing. I need to mix in a little bit of algae now. All right, time to give it a little stir. Definitely not much to look at this stage. The moisture from collecting the algae and leaves actually helps to break down the charcoal too. Make it a little easier to break up into smaller pieces. The leaves will continue to decompose, and I will spend probably a good part of the winter, maybe all winter long, in order to keep collecting the algae from the pond. Since the leaves, for the most part, are almost off of all of the trees, I won't get much leaf litter anymore, but I will continue to get a lot of algae, which mixes in a lot better than what the leaf litter does, of course. Gabby, no. Okay, definitely not all that palatable in appearance, but my garden's going to love it in the spring. And it does a lot to make the pond a lot better in appearance. Now, biochar you can purchase at Amazon or in garden centers and stuff, but it is really expensive. And this is just a very economical way of making it if you have access to algae and have access to the charcoal. Now, if you live out in the country, you probably got access to wood that you can burn. You may or may not have a small pond that you can collect algae from. But again, it's a very economical way of making biochar for your garden. I'll end this episode here saying thanks for being with me. I'll continue my journey on this biochar through the winter. Have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one.